Hi everybody, this is David Damien and you're watching David Damien, live with David Damien. And I'm here with my little friend, Miss Powerhouse activist, Sophie Cruz. So welcome, Sophie Cruz.
Thank you.
Thank you. She has Paquita. She wanted to have my little dog, Paquita, with her. So she dressed Paquita today and everything. So we're going to be talking, I told her we're going to be having fun. And we're also going to be talking about some very serious things because I know you're very, very good at that, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, I wanted to talk to you about how old are you?
I am 6 years old.
6 years old?
Yeah.
Because you know when you came into the house, I asked you. I said, I thought you were 8 years old because you seem like.
Tall?
Well, no, you're actually not very tall, but you're actually very grown up for your age. Did people tell you that sometimes?
Not really.
Not really. Well, I just think that you've done a lot of great things in the world, and I think that you just act older to me, But I know you're a little girl, right? So what grade are you in?
I am in second grade.
Second grade, and do you like that?
Yeah, I like second grade.
And what are all of the students, like your fellow students and your teachers, what do they think about all the work that you're doing in the world?
They think that I have done a good job.
Oh, they think you've done a good job? Oh, okay. And so what do you tell them?
I just tell them okay.
You're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they recognize you from television, huh? That's right. And so you have a little sister. What's your little sister's name?
My sister's name is Sarah.
Sara? And your mom and dad are right there. Your dad is Zoila and Jorge, and they're right there. And I'm so grateful that you came over this morning because you and I met about a year ago. Remember that? We were at Eva Longoria's event where she was on doing a premiere. You remember that?
I remember.
And then we had breakfast. Remember we had breakfast at that restaurant that's your favorite restaurant?
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So tell me about your parents, because your parents are very, very supportive of everything that you do. First of all, let me make sure, because you're sliding a little bit more that way. We had to put pillows here because she's like, you're like the shortest guest I've ever had. So, okay, so tell me about your parents. I know that they support you in everything that you do, and that you've been to the White House and you've met a lot of important people. Tell me about your parents.
Well, first of all, my mom's name is Sophie, and then my dad's name is Cruz, and I know that they support me a lot, so that's why I love them.
Oh, you love them? That's so sweet. And your mom is Zoila, and tell me your dad's name again?
Raul.
Raul. Okay, great, great. And so I was going to tell you, let's talk a little bit because last year something big happened in your life, right?
Yeah.
It happened in our lives too, right? You wrote a letter to the Pope, Pope Francis, right?
Yeah.
And so you went to Washington, D.C., and you saw the Pope and you were in line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what happened after that. So you're in line and you have the letter.
How are you?
You were like in the it was like
In the border.
in the border, like there was like barricades, right?
Yeah.
Like a fence almost. So tell me what happened.
So,
Your little sister's here. Come on. She wants to come in. So what happened then?
So first I was in the little fence, and then I'm like, "Hey Dad, I wanna give this letter to the Pope," and then he's like, "Okay," and then he just lifted me up, and then I came down to the fence and I ran to the Pope.
You ran to the Pope?
Yeah.
And so at first they didn't want to let you, right?
Yeah.
And then the Pope
called me.
The Pope called you? Wow.
And then the police went.
The police?
And then he's like, okay, the Pope's calling you, and then he just took me there to the Pope.
Oh, okay. And what did the Pope tell you?
I didn't really hear it because there was a lot of noise.
That he told you something, but you couldn't hear.
Yeah.
But I know he blessed you, right? He
Yeah.
blessed you. I saw that. That was very beautiful. And so, tell me, do you mind telling me what was in the letter that you wrote? What did the letter say? And you wrote it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So what did the letter say?
The letter said that I wanted the Pope to talk with the President and the Congress for President could give an immigration reform.
So you wanted to, okay, just so, because your voice is a little soft, I wonder if you can repeat that. So just say, if you want to say it louder, or do you want me to repeat it, what you just said? So you wanted the letter to say, you wanted the Pope to talk to President Obama, to talk to Congress, to do immigration reform.
Yeah.
And why is that important to you?
It is important to me to give an immigration reform because I think my parents are important to me because they help me with my homework and they take me to school and they do many other things for me.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is very, very sweet. And so you also wrote a letter to the President, President Obama, right? And
Yeah.
you went to the White House?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you write to the President?
I told the President, like, it was kind of the same.
The same letter?
But not really.
Okay, not really the same, but sort of? So
Yes.
what was different? What was different about the letter that you wrote to the President and wrote to the Pope?
Well, what was different, it was actually like, it didn't talk about the Congress, it only talked about the President.
It talked about what the President could do?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you went to the White House. Did your parents go with you?
Like inside?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so you went by yourself?
Yeah, but with a friend.
With a friend? And why didn't your parents go with you?
Because they weren't legalized yet.
Oh, because they're, okay. So
They're documented.
they're undocumented? And so you have, I think that that's very courageous of you. And so when you sit down and write a letter, do you write it in English, in Spanish, or do you do it in both?
Both.
In both, you would do it in English and in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's in your handwriting and everything, right? And you sign it like Sophie Cruz?
Yeah.
Well, I hope one day you would send me a letter, because I would love to have a letter from you. I'm not powerful or anything, but I'd like to have a letter. But look, we have all these, see all those little things that are, or like those little things that are floating like that? And you see all these people are watching us.
You mean those little white things?
Yeah, those are people watching us from like all over the world. And from the United States of America. And
From China?
And, well, I don't know if anybody's from China, but let's check. You want somebody from China? I hope somebody. So you have Anthony Medrano from San Antonio, Texas. See all these people liking it?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Huh? So you have Anthony Medrano from San Antonio. Say hi, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Then we have Victor Duenas, who's a very dear friend of mine. And have you seen a show called Platanito? Platanito? Yeah, it's probably past your bedtime. But there's a show called Platanito, and my friend works on that show. He goes, hi, Dee Dee, that's me. Congrats to you and Sophie. Yeah, you say hi to Victor.
Hi, Victor.
And then Elizabeth Morales. Paquita is loving, I love her. She's adorable. She's the smallest guest and the bravest. You're the bravest. You know, and Elizabeth Espinosa, she is Jose Jose's cuñada. You know the singer Jose Jose? That's who she is? JJ Arevalo. Saludos, thank you for capturing these moments and histories of our cultura. Let's say hi to JJ Arevalo.
Hi, JJ.
He's from Arizona. And then Sandy Schmidt is on. Good morning, Sophie and David. Let's say good morning. Hi,
Good
Sandy.
morning.
And then Anthony Medrano again, he says, hello, Sophie. Sophie, you give power to all mankind. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's say thank you to Anthony, who's in San Antonio.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. And so there's a lot more people watching. But I wanted to ask you a question again. You know, I told you that we were going to talk about immigration, which is very, very important. And, you know, I worked at MALDEF. You know, MALDEF is the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
That one.
So I worked there, and I was the vice president for a while, as you know. Oh, you didn't know that? I was. I used to be. I know it. I can't believe it myself. So I was the vice president. I worked for the president and the general counsel, the main attorney, right? And Tom Symes. But we worked a lot on immigration. And so tell me what your feelings are about immigration and what you would like to see different. We have a new president. You know, I know you're very involved in, and you know a lot about, you know, this issue. But I want to, you know, find out what you'd like to see in the future of America in terms of immigration. What would you like to see change?
I would like to change that that there would be love in the world and no like no bad stuff.
Okay. That's just really, that's really, really, really beautiful because she said she wanted to see more love in the world. And yeah, I think, when in terms of immigration, it's like that's basically what it's about. We have a lot of people that, we love. And, sorry about that. It just, you really just, I think the world of you. And I'm just very touched by, excuse me. So let's make it higher again. Make it happy again. So so you're very famous now, and you walk in the street. You were walking my dogs out on the street earlier today, and so tell me about now that you're a famous person, because you are, right? What happens when people recognize you? What do you do? Like how does that work?
When I recognize
Yeah, like when
people.
when people recognize you, because I know you go places and people say, "Oh my God, there's Sophie Cruz," and they want to take photos with you and they want to say hello to you. And how does that feel?
Good.
It feels good, yeah. And so, I'm going to tell you something. When I first met Eva Longoria, you know Eva, she's met you, and you guys have had many discussions. I told her, I said, now that you have because she's super famous, right?
Yeah.
Now that you have everybody's attention, what do you want to say in the world? And so I'm asking you now that you have everybody's attention, because you're world famous, and you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
That means you're really famous. So, what do you want to say? What's your message? Because I know you have a message. Like, what do you want to tell people about the future, about, what your plans are? Because you're only 6 years old, but I know you have a lot of plans.
I don't get that part really.
You don't get that part really? Okay, so you want me to rephrase it?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say when you're like 15 or 20 years old, which is a long, long time from now, right? So, what do you want to be doing? Because I know you're going to be doing things to help change in the world. Do you want to run for Congress? Do you want to be the president? So what do you want to do?
And I'm 18. I wanna vote.
Oh, when she's 18, she wants to vote. There you go. See, wow. It's like, you, young lady, you are something else. My gosh, you are. You really are. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Let's see, do we have any more questions? Here we go. Here's from Victor Duenas. He's, remember I told you he was a dear friend of ours? What's been the response from your teachers and classmates?
Oh, the response.
Like meaning, so how do they act when they see you after you come out on television, they think, and
then I come back to school.
And then you come back to school, yeah. What do they say? What do they do?
Well, they tell me, Sophie, I saw you on the TV.
They saw you on the TV?
And also, how did I get famous? There was this kid that
Oh, they said, how did you get famous?
Me, yeah.
But they're really nice to you and everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's so good. And then Sandy Schmidt has a question for you. See, she's talking about you. She goes, she is such a sweet child, and I see her doing great things in her life. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you turn 18, you're going to vote. And so what do you tell people right now that there's a lot of people right now that say that they don't want to vote because they don't like
both of them?
They don't like Trump or they don't like Clinton. What do you tell people that say that they're not going to vote?
I tell them that to vote, that I want them to vote, please. Please
vote, right? I agree with you. I really do, because I think then we have another question that just came in for you. It comes from Octavio Gaitan Diaz. What do you do for fun? You're doing it. No, really, what do you do for fun? Because earlier she said she wanted to borrow my dogs because my friend Marion, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, Police Academy. She was actually on the show earlier. Marion is like a sister to me. and she's one of the actors in Police Academy. She has the squeaky voice, and she loves our dogs. And so when she comes over, she asks us to buy a stroller, and we have the stroller. And so they were taking the dog Paquita and Pepito around the block in the stroller. Yeah. So what do you do for fun?
Well, I like to go swimming with my dad.
Oh, you like to go swimming with your dad? So you know how to swim?
Yeah, I know how to swim.
Like how far do you swim?
Like, I don't know. Like, you know, there's this pool, and then right here there's the tigers, so I can only go up to here.
Oh, you can only, like, you go like, so you're getting better and better at it though, right? So you're going to try to swim across the pool one day, right?
I don't really know how to swim that much.
Not that much, but you're learning, right? Well, you'll get there. You will get there. And so what else do you want to have to say to anybody?
Like, what?
Like anything you want to say to anybody that's watching? Anything else do you want to say?
I want to ask a question. Like,
You want to ask a question?
to Hillary Clinton and
Oh, you want
Trump.
to ask a question to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ask them a question. Maybe one day they'll watch it. You want to ask a question? Okay, so your first question would be to Hillary Clinton. What would you ask her?
To both of them.
Oh, to both of them. The question is to both of them. And what is the question?
The question is, what will happen to me if you deport my parents, and will there finally be an immigration reform for all immigrants?
Oh, wow. Okay. So your question was, your question is that you want to know what will happen to you if your parents are deported, and you also want to know what they're going to basically do about immigration reform.
Yeah.
So that's the question, folks. And so that's a really good question. I think it's a really, really good question because you're an immigration activist, and that's very, very important to you. And I know that you know the subject very, very well. So, Sophie, you've spoken all over the world, right? And so, are you falling down? Let me fix this for you. Let me fix it. Paquita. There you go. You might have put her out. You want to keep her, or you want me to put her down?
I want to keep her.
You want to keep her? Okay. So, hey, so Sophie, can I ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, there's something called rapid fire questions. You know rapid fire questions? So I ask you quick questions, and then you answer them really quick. And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. Okay, the first question is, if you could speak to God, what would you ask him?
Well, I would ask him, like, if I could go live with him, and if I could go, like, visit him someday.
Oh, you want to go live with God and see if you could visit him one day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. And so the other question I want to ask you is, what is your most treasured, treasured possession? Your most, like something that is your own? What is the most treasured possession you have?
What's treasured possession?
Treasure is the thing that means the most to you, the most value of yours.
My parents.
Your parents, yeah. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. And so, have you talked to the Pope again? Have you talked to the Pope since then?
No.
He didn't invite you to the Vatican in Italy? No? Okay. Who else have you written to? Like, I know you write a lot of important people, right?
Yeah.
So who else have you written to?
My parents.
Oh, you write to your parents? Oh, that's so sweet. So, let's see, do we have any more questions? We'll do it real quick. And I think we're running out of time here. So, somebody tells you, don't grow up too quick. We can learn from our children. So you know what don't grow up too quick means? That means like don't be an older person sooner than you're supposed to be, right? But I think you play a lot and everything, so you're gonna be fine. And Sophie is truly an angel and living and walking amongst us. Do you know what that means?
No. Part of it.
Yeah, he says that you're an angel and that you are walking the earth with us. That's really sweet, huh?
Yeah.
And then,
like that angel, you have that.
like this angel, yeah. I love angels. I believe in angels. Do you believe in angels?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And then Veronica from Tucson just joined. And let me see if there's any more questions. I think that's really about it. Oh, look at somebody send you a bunch of hearts. That's so sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you read like all of them?
I'm sorry?
You read all of them?
I read all of them. Does anybody else have a question? You know what I can do? Because this is slower than that. Let me see if I'll go over there and we'll look at the questions real quick. Give me one.
What's that doing? Probably she's licking that.
Yeah, no, so we don't have any more questions yet. So I think we might be finished. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you? Do you have are you on Facebook?
No.
Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram?
No.
So you're famous, and you don't even. Most famous people have all this social media, right? All these things like that.
Like they say, like follow us on Instagram.
Oh.
Follow us, and yeah, like that. But you don't have any of that.
No.
Good for you. Good for you. Because sometimes it takes a lot of time.
Only my dad has Instagram, but he doesn't know how to use it.
Okay. So people find you because they find you because they really want to get in touch with you, right?
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. So, golly, Sophie, the time went really, really quick. And I'm so grateful to you and to your parents and your little sister, Sarah.
I thought it was gonna be like long, you know.
You thought it was going to be long? Do you want to talk more?
Yeah.
You want to talk more? Okay. Well, then, let's see. We have more people watching, so we can do whatever you want to do. Does anybody have a question for Sophie? She wants to talk longer. So, basically, I'm going to do whatever you want to do. Okay? So
Who do you want to be president?
Oh, no. So do you have any more questions for anybody out there?
No.
No? Nothing at all? Do you want to say hello to your friends or your teachers or anything like that?
Maybe it's too early.
It's too early. They're probably not watching right
Yeah,
now,
they
right?
probably watch it they probably wake up at probably 10 or something.
Okay.
What does she want to do when she grows up?
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a president, a scientist, a doctor, a chef, and I think that's about it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So
That's 4.
Yeah, 4 things. You want to be a president, a scientist,
Doctor.
a doctor,
And tough.
and tough.
Chef.
A chef. Okay.
I call it chef.
So you like to cook and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So we think we have another question. Let me see. And then I think we're going to have to sign off because we've been on. What is your favorite time of year?
Like my favorite holiday?
Yeah.
I like Christmas.
Oh, you like Christmas? Why?
Because I get presents.
Because you get presents. Do you give presents out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes I get dresses and all that stuff, like toys. Like
Well, I'll send you a present, but you have to send me a letter. I'm not supposed to ask for anything in return, but I want a letter from you.
Okay.
Okay? And for Paquita, Pepito, and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'll give them a little letter, like
You're going to make them
envelope.
a little envelope? Okay, I really appreciate that. So, wow, I think we're done now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, folks, thank you so much for watching Live with David Damien. And I want to also tell you that I'm so grateful to little Sophie, little powerhouse Sophie Cruz, and her parents for bringing her here early this morning and being so gracious and being such wonderful.
Do you know what time I woke up?
What time did you wake up?
6.
You woke up at 6 to be here? Oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'm
And remember,
not even sleepy.
you were sleepy? You were not even sleepy? But like I promised you, you can come pick up the dogs anytime. You can take them in the stroller. You can borrow them overnight if you want, like I promised you. Okay?
Okay.
So that's a deal? Okay.
Yeah.
Sophie, can I have a hug?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. God bless you. I love you. I love your family very, very much. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, world.
Bye, world. Yay.